Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys have been well. So I thought it was time that I sat down and had a big old catch up with you all and just talk about all the things that have been running through my mind lately. So I wanted to give you an update on my handbag collection, how the wedding planning is going, a bit of a health update, and just an overall life update. And I also asked you guys over on my Instagram if you had any questions for me. And I actually got a lot of questions about my YouTube journey and also my Etsy store. So I'll look at covering that as well in this video. And I am just so excited to sit down and catch up with you all and also introduce myself to some of my new subscribers. So basically, one of my videos recently kind of went viral, well for me anyway. It got over 100,000 views. That has never happened before, and I've been uploading 2 videos a week for almost 3 years now, and I was just in complete shock. I did not expect it at all. I almost didn't even upload that video because I didn't think anyone would be interested. So hello to all my new subscribers. If you did find me via that video, thank you so much for subscribing. It's so lovely to have you here, and I'm really excited to just keep creating content for you guys, and I love watching this whole community grow. So let's just get straight into the questions. I have tried to categorize this as best I can, that way I'm not jumping from one topic to another. So the first kind of topic we can kind of talk about is fashion, handbags and shoes. I haven't been doing this content as heavily as I was before, and that's simply because I was getting to the point where 2 uploads every week all about handbags, vintage handbags, capsule wardrobe. It just got to the point where I was losing my creativity and my passion for those videos. So I already have a full-time job where I have to go to work, every day to make a living. So I was getting to the point that, this is my hobby. This is something that I started for fun. And once it got to the point where it felt like work and that I was making myself film videos just for the sake of it, I just thought, okay, we need to hit the reset button here and really think about the content that I'm creating and making sure that I enjoy it. Because guys, I truly believe there is a direct correlation with how keen I am to film a video with how well it does. I feel like you can vibe off my vibe, and if I am creating a video just for the sake of it because I think you're going to like it, it usually doesn't do very well. Not that it's all about views, but I do want to create content that you guys like. So anyway, the first question is, what's next on your vintage bag search? So the first one that comes to mind and something that I'm really eyeing off at the moment is the vintage Louis Vuitton Delightful MM. I think that's what it's called. And I absolutely love this bag. I love the slouch to it. I love that it's monogram. So you guys know I've tried monogram, Louis Vuitton monogram in particular, time and time again. I do find it hard to style, but I'm not going to give up. So I absolutely love that bag. It looks super comfortable, malleable on the body. I love the shoulder strap, and I just feel like I'd be able to fit a lot in there. So I've been on the hunt for one of those. It's quite hard to find one that's affordable in good condition. And if one of those popped up within my price range, I would definitely consider purchasing it, even more so now because I have a collaboration video coming with W Concept, and I chose a couple of bags from their website and clothing, which I'm so excited to share with you guys. But one of the bags kind of arrived early, and I've been using it all week and I'm obsessed. I kind of did a bit of a teaser over on my Instagram, but it's this one here. I'll obviously give like an in-depth view of it in my next video, but I've been using this all week. I took it to lunch yesterday. I use it for work. It can fit my A5 planner. It can fit my mouse. It's just got everything in there. I'm using pouches at the moment to try and keep it organized, and I am just loving this. And this is a similar vibe to the Louis Vuitton Delightful, and I just love how comfy it is. You sling it over your shoulder. I love the color of this. It kind of goes with all of my outfits. So I don't know about you guys, but that's a similar color to the Louis Vuitton monogram. So maybe that could be my next vintage bag purchase because I'm just loving this one so much. So absolutely love that bag. The next one on my wish list, I feel like I've mentioned this before, but the Louis Vuitton Mini Danube or Danube, I don't know how to pronounce that. But anyway, it's basically like a little utility style bag, and I just think this would look really nice crossbody with either activewear or really casual, knitwear and jeans in winter, because obviously it's getting colder here. So I have been looking everywhere for that particular style, and I'm just struggling to find it within my price range. And you guys know my price range is very low. It's because I'm not in a rush, so I'm very patient when it comes to vintage bags. So obviously if I wanted one today, I could purchase one, but is it at the price that I'm willing to pay? Not really. So that's another one I'm looking at. I've also been looking at vintage Bottega Veneta. I absolutely love the woven leather, the slouchy vibe. In particular, if it was this kind of size, big and slouchy, that would be perfect. So absolutely love those bags. I feel like they're really I mean, they've been on trend for ages now, and yeah, they're just hard to come by, but I'm always on the hunt. Wouldn't it be amazing to come across like a big slouchy woven Bottega bag in like a burgundy color? I feel like that would be absolutely perfect for autumn winter. But again, they really hold their value as well. So at this moment in time, I'm kind of in that process of, I've got a lot of contemporary bags at the moment that I'm looking at selling. So right now it's kind of half-half. I've got half vintage designer, half contemporary. And I really want to kind of declutter, really work out what I'm using and buy more of that. So I'm definitely being a little more considerate before I make any, you know, big purchases. But there will be some coming. Just as of right now, I'm in my decluttering phase. I know you're probably thinking, Shannon, you're always decluttering something. I'm just one of those people, I need to really declutter before I add more. I feel like I make better purchasing decisions once I've done that as well. So they're the main 3 handbags that I'm seriously considering adding to my collection. Obviously, there's so many beautiful vintage designer bags out there. So if you are looking to start your collection, definitely look vintage first, because yeah, there are so many styles available. But as for the ones that I'm actually looking at purchasing, it's just those 3. And then the next question is, designer shoes, found any yet? So basically, I think I must have mentioned this in a video or something, that I was looking at purchasing, you know, adding some designer shoes to my collection, because that's something I've never really delved into before. However, I feel like there's a reason why I haven't, and it's because there's so many different variables when it comes to designer shoes. Pre-loved, that is. I feel like I'm not really interested in brand new. And then when it comes to pre-loved, they're always not in the best condition, because obviously they're on your feet, you're wearing them around. So either they're not in great condition, or if they are, they're not in my size. So I'm really struggling with designer shoes. Of course, it would be amazing to stumble across a bargain pair of Chanel little flats or slingbacks. But other than that, I don't actually know many other designer shoes. I'm not big on shoes at all, but it's definitely something I want to focus on. I actually said that for this year, that I want to focus more on my footwear. But here we are again, and I'm still wearing the same pair of sneakers and same pair of sandals like every day. I do have some other questions here, but they're all kind of the same. They're basically just asking, you know, what vintage bags are you looking at? Oh, one here says, which bag are you using most? So other than this one this week, I've obviously always used my Longchamp Large Le Playage, which I have been considering purchasing in the brown color or in the paper color, because I do use it so often. And yeah, I think because I use it so much, it would be worth having it in a few different other colorways, because sometimes black just doesn't go with my work outfit. I actually realized that the small tote bag organizer that I sell on my Etsy store fits perfectly into the small Longchamp bag. So I've been using it so much more, because I can have it all nice and organized. So the next topic is all about YouTube. So basically, I had so many questions about my YouTube channel. I think it's because I have just hit 10,000 subscribers. So people are a little bit curious as to, you know, do I work as well as have a YouTube channel, why I started it, how my journey's been so far. So I'm just going to go ahead and answer a few of those questions. So the first question is, why did you start a YouTube channel? So I've been a consumer of YouTube for so long. So I actually started this account that I'm posting on now in 2013. It was just called Shannon Reynolds, but I didn't actually share any content. But that was when I first created my account, so I could engage with my favorite YouTubers, you know, comment on their videos, subscribe to my favorite channels. And then prior to that, I had been watching YouTube for years. So yeah, it's probably over 15 years that I've been watching YouTube, and I always wanted to start my own channel. So I used to love watching beauty, makeup related videos through my high school years, and then I loved watching fashion videos. At the moment, I'm loving lifestyle and, you know, cooking related content. And I just feel like no matter what phase of life you're going through, there's always content there for you to watch. Not only that, but I've always loved to make videos. I used to make videos when I was a kid on like PowerPoint, on Movie Maker for my dad. My dad used to go kite surfing, and I would go and film it and make little videos of it and stuff. So I kind of just figured that I used to watch a lot of videos about like how to start a YouTube channel, things to know about starting a YouTube channel. A lot of videos would talk about the amount of video editing that you have to do, and unless you like video editing, you're not, you know, it's going to be hard to have a YouTube channel. And I always just felt like, well, I like video editing. So I like talking to people, I like the video editing, so let's give it a go. And I think something that's really important that I've only just realized is how much of a difference it's made having support. So I remember saying to Ryan, I really want to start a YouTube channel. I used to say it to him all the time. And every time he was like, go for it, just start it. Like, who cares what people think? Because that's always the first thing that pops into your head is like, oh, what are people going to think of me? Is it embarrassing? But he's always been really supportive, and same with my family. And I feel like if I had of, in the early days of our relationship, said to him, oh, I want to start a YouTube channel, and he said something like, oh, I think that's lame, or I wouldn't do it, I probably wouldn't have. And I'm just so glad that I kind of just had that support, because I feel like no matter how much other people's opinions shouldn't affect you, they do, especially those closest to you. So in terms of my closest circle of people, family and friends, they were all very supportive. So if anyone outside of that laughed at me or thought it was a joke or whatever, I don't care, because you're not that important to me, basically. I know it sounds harsh, but I've always just thought to myself, if you have that kind of mentality where you think that stuff is embarrassing and people shouldn't do it because they should care what other people think, then we just don't think the same. And so whatever opinion you have, it shouldn't really matter to me, and it shouldn't influence my decisions at the end of the day. So anyway, I always had so much support. So I decided that when I finished uni and I had a little bit more time up my sleeve, I would just start. And in terms of the direction that I was going in, it really is trial and error for the first couple of years. Even now, I'm still trialing out some new kind of content, more organizational lifestyle content, because you do change as a person. So trying to put yourself in a box at the very beginning is almost impossible. So obviously I started out with handbags because they've always been a passion of mine. Handbag organization is something I've always loved, and I've always loved vintage things, whether it's antiques or handbags. So I thought I would start there. And for a while it's been going so well, but I did get to a point where I just felt like my channel was kind of at a standstill and I needed to branch out a little bit more, or just keep buying and buying handbags, which isn't something that, you know, I wanted to do. So yeah, it's kind of just been a journey since then, and starting this YouTube channel has been the best decision that I ever made. If anything, I wish I had have started earlier, but I should just be thankful that I started at all, because you can easily put things like this off. And if you're sitting there thinking, oh my god, I should just start putting videos up, because the years go by really quickly. Like, people would say to me, oh, you're probably not going to see much growth for the first 3 or 4 years. And that's true, but I've been on YouTube now for almost 3 years, and it's gone like that. I think 2.5 years I've been on YouTube now, and I still feel like an absolute rookie. So if I just keep going at this rate and, you know, do all of this time again, hopefully I can make this passion into more of a job, I guess, because there are so many people on YouTube that do this as a job. But I think what's great about me working full-time still is, although I don't have a lot of time to invest in this channel, I feel like it's keeping my focus on quality content and things that I love rather than money. And it really alleviates the pressure for me. So I'm able to, if a brand wants to work with me and I've already done a lot of content about fashion and it's a fashion brand, I'll say, yeah, I'm keen to work with you, but can we do it in a month or 2 months time, because I've done too much content about that topic lately. So I'm just really flexible and kind of make them work with me a little more. Whereas if I think this was like my sole job, I would definitely be taking everything that I can get, because obviously I have a mortgage, I need to make a living, which is completely fair enough for a lot of people. But I personally would prefer to just work full time, earn that money, and just keep this as a hobby and just doing brand collaborations that truly align with me. Anyway, I've completely veered off topic there. The question was, why did you start a YouTube channel? So yeah, basically I've just always wanted to. I love video editing, and I love sharing with you guys any vintage handbags, how I fix vintage handbags, how I organize my desk or my bag or new clothes in my wardrobe. I just find the whole thing really, really fun. The next question is, how do you maintain full-time work with your YouTube channel? So this is a constant balancing act. Luckily, I do a 9-day fortnight with work. So every second Friday I have off, and then on weekends. So I spend a lot of my weekends filming YouTube and editing. So it's a huge sacrifice if you don't enjoy it. Whereas for me, that's all I feel like doing on my weekends. Some weekends are harder than others, I'm not going to lie. Some weekends it's a full chore and I have to cancel, like I can't, you know, go and hang out with friends or go to a coffee date because I know I have to get a video up. However, I know that it's all worth it, and I would be more angry at myself if I didn't upload a video that day. So anyway, I just feel like I could definitely always get better with my time management. But something that's been really working for me these past couple of months is 1 upload a week, maybe 2 if I have the time. So just you know, relieving that pressure of 2 uploads every week has been amazing. And also not just posting content for the sake of posting content. I used to just try and create a reel really quickly, you know, just for the sake of a post. But I've realized quality over quantity, it's true what they say, because I would post reels like that and yeah, they might get a couple of 100 views or whatever, which for me was a lot. But now I might do 1 reel a week, but it gets like a couple of 1,000 views. So for me, that's a little bit better anyway. And it's just like, I don't want to be that person who's clogging up your Instagram feed and your YouTube feed with just pointless videos. I would much prefer you actually actively seeking out my content because it brings you joy or you're getting some useful information from it. So even this video today, a Q&A style video, just sitting down and chatting, I almost didn't do it because I know it's not going to get a lot of views, but my community is really important. And I know a lot of you guys, like I know for me personally, when I'm watching a YouTuber, I love all of their really productive motivational content, but I also love to just sit down and hang out with them and get to know them a little more. And the last question about YouTube is, where do you see your channel going? So I am a firm believer that I will always create content based on the point that I'm at in my life at that time. So right now, obviously, love a little bit of fashion, love home organization. I would love to do more home and lifestyle content, more vlogs. But obviously with a full-time job, it can be difficult to film those style videos, but that's, you know, the direction I can see it going in. In terms of other YouTubers that I watch that I really want to be like, I will leave their channels on screen. There's Gemma Louise Miles, there's I don't know how to pronounce her channel, but anyway, I'll link it here. But it's kind of a combination of vlogs, lifestyle, and, you know, they'll talk a bit about their home, they'll talk about their dog. And then Gemma Louise Miles, I love that, you know, she talks about her mum life, which I'm really interested in because I do see myself having a family over the next couple of years. So that's kind of where I see it going. And I guess that, you know, brings up another question, is how open will I be about my personal life on my channel? And it's definitely something I actively think about because I feel like it can be really easy to just film anything and everything, but I do make a conscious effort to keep other people other than myself not as much in my videos unless they're okay to. So obviously I feature my sister in a lot of my videos because she's more than happy to be in them. I don't film Ryan a lot because he's, you know, not big on being on my YouTube channel, and I respect that. And I feel like when we have kids, I will be the same. Obviously I want to talk to you guys about I love watching nesting videos and nursery tour videos and what's in my hospital bag, or, you know, things that I've been using and stuff. But I don't think I want to show my kids' faces online or anything, but I do want to talk, but you can easily talk about that topic without showing their faces, you know what I mean? So that's something that I definitely think about, but I definitely want to make sure that I'm not just, you know, when I've got kids and I'm in my full motherhood stage, I'm just still trying to create videos about handbags because I just don't think that would be my focus at that time. So I do see my content shifting with every phase of my life. Where that's going at this point in time, I'm not sure, but I am wary of, I guess, other people in my videos and trying to keep that a little more private. So I hope that gives you a bit of an idea as to where I kind of see my channel going. But I mean, it's so hard to say because I'm just not there yet. Right now I'm still planning my wedding at this point. Next topic, because that's all the YouTube questions, is Etsy. So I have 2 questions relating to my store. So first, how did you start your Etsy store? So basically, I love handbag organization, always have, and I had a few different felt organizers from different brands, and I just noticed there were a few things that I kind of wanted to change about them. And I've always wanted to have a little Etsy store, and I was always trying to think of a product to sell. And then one day it just hit me and I'm like, oh my God, that's what I can sell. It's something I'm really passionate about. It would intertwine really well with my YouTube. And by the way, guys, thank you so much for all your support on my Etsy store, because I can almost guarantee I don't think I would have any sales on there, or no one would know about my Etsy store unless it was for this channel and this community. So it's so nice that you guys can watch my videos and then also purchase my products, because you know, when I'm sending out my orders, I recognize a lot of your names. So yeah, I just love doing both of those, you know, in combination, and it changes things up a little bit too. You know, some days I work on my YouTube and then other days I work on my Etsy store, and it's nice just to have a few different things on the go. So in terms of you know, why I started it. Basically, I just saw a little bit of a gap that I wanted to fill, and I thought that Etsy was the best place to start because I've had a website before. I used to have a blog on a website. I've also just looked into all the logistics of having an online store, and there's a lot of fees involved. And I thought, you know what, I'm not across all of this, nor do I have the time to make myself familiar with all of this, so why don't I just use Etsy? And I have known of a lot of people who have made, you know, a living off of Etsy, and they choose that platform for a reason. So it has been amazing. It's almost like Facebook Marketplace. You basically snap a photo of what you want to sell, put in the details, the price, and how many you know, items you have of that product, and you basically just publish it, and you don't have to pay any fees until you start selling those products. So it's just a really easy platform to use. My mum uses it. So mum does some pottery. I might even link her Etsy store below. I'm not sure. Mum just does it on the side as a bit of a hobby. She's very creative. She's either knitting, doing floristry, making pottery. She's always doing sewing. She literally does everything. So she has a little Etsy store for all of her creations, and every now and then she'll get a little order. And she just told me it was so easy to use. And Etsy is a nice little bit of extra income as well. So if you're thinking about starting an Etsy store, do it. I honestly, if you're like Etsy or YouTube, I couldn't pick. I love them both just as much as each other. Another question is, would you recommend starting a side hustle, or is it just too much work? I cannot recommend it enough. I think I mentioned this on my Instagram recently, that starting this YouTube channel and starting my Etsy store is so empowering. I've always worked for someone. So with my full-time job, obviously I work for an organization. I've worked for small businesses, I've worked for big companies, and I've had a lot of different jobs. And I think there is just something so liberating about either having your own product or creating your own content and making your own money that is solely yours. Not that it's not, you know, when you're working for someone else, but it's a different feeling. I'm not only getting that little bit of income from YouTube or Etsy, but it comes with this real sense of motivation and inspiration to just keep working, and just I get so much more happiness from it. So they're all the side hustle related questions. Now let's move on to the more personal questions. I decided to leave these till the end because I just didn't know if anyone really cares about a life update from me. But to those of you who are interested, just keep on watching. So I have a question here. How are you doing? How's your health? Which is just so kind. Whenever I do a Q&A, there's always someone that asks how I'm going. And yeah, it's just so beautiful that you guys care. So first of all, I'm doing really well. I think at this present moment, I'm really happy that my niece has been born. That's just brought a lot of happiness into my life. I'm really happy that I hit 10,000 subscribers because that was a huge milestone for me. I'm really happy that everyone at this point in my life, in my close circle, is, you know, healthy. So really happy about all of that. Another thing that's super exciting is we get married in a couple of months, so we're really looking forward to that. We also plan to do a honeymoon, which we haven't actually planned, but we're thinking either we'll do like a little week away, a resort maybe up north, very tropical holiday, or we will go to Europe for like 4 weeks. So we're still trying to work out what we want to do yet. And both of those options would be amazing. So I guess right now I'm going really good because I have a lot to look forward to and I have a lot to be grateful for. So thank you so much for asking. The next part of that question was, how's your health? So I gave you guys an update a couple of months ago as to what is going on with my arm and joint pain, and from the blood tests it showed that I had Ross River fever from a mosquito bite, which I think I got when we were camping up north about 1.5 years ago, because it was so hot that night. We were sleeping in the swag and we undid the fly screen because we were that hot and we needed extra breeze, and Ryan and I both woke up that morning with so many mosquito bites, and after that, I feel like that's when the pain kind of started. So I have no doubt that's when I got Ross River. And unfortunately, there's nothing you can do about it. It's kind of like glandular fever. You can't really do anything. You just have to moderate exercise, lots of rest, and eat really healthy, which I have been doing, and nothing's kind of changing. I still have it. So the next step for me is going to see a naturopath. So I have all of my blood results and I feel like there must just be something in my diet that I'm lacking. So I'm really excited to go and see a professional. They run through all my bloods and she might say, like, this is a total example. She might say, oh, you need more iron in your diet, or you need more, like, guys, I don't even know what other vitamins there are. Like, I'm really bad at that stuff. But I just feel like there must be something, like a puzzle piece missing in my diet or the way that I live my lifestyle that needs to change. So I'm really hoping that seeing a naturopath will give me some answers. So that's a little bit of an update on how I'm going and my health. How is wedding planning going? So obviously it's less than 3 months away. Our wedding is in July and it's going really well. And I think that is solely because we decided to do a very casual restaurant style wedding. So basically booked out a whole restaurant. They've already got the staff, they've got the cutlery, they've got everything there. I didn't have to organize any of that. It's just, you know, a minimum spend, bar tab, and we just have a very casual ceremony kind of at the venue. So it's worked out really well, and I had some really good advice from someone before we started planning our wedding, and they said the more you want your wedding, like the more you plan for timings and things that you want to happen, the more there is to stress about. And for me, that has been such a great piece of advice. So we've kind of said that all we want is the ceremony to be the formal part, but the moment we hit the reception, as long as there is a designated kind of time for speeches and a first dance, whatever happens other than that is, you know, flexible, and we can just go with the night. And only having those few things on our to-do list has just made everything so much easier. And because we're not having bridesmaids or groomsmen, again, that's a whole heap of work that we don't have to do. We don't have to choose dresses, we don't have to choose shoes for them, we don't have to coordinate timing with them, we don't have to do any of that. They just get ready with us, like our main friends get ready with us on the morning, and then as soon as we get to the ceremony, everyone's off the hook and it's just us we kind of have to worry about. So I have a lot of questions here about my niece, and sorry guys if the lighting keeps changing throughout this video. Honestly, it's one of those days. The clouds are coming in, they're going out, my SD card was full, my battery died, so there's been a bit of shifting going on, so apologies for that. But if you watched my recent cash stuffing video, you would have seen that Amber was 4 days overdue with her pregnancy and was just waiting for the day that she, you know, started having contractions. So basically Amber had a really long labor, the poor thing, because the baby was posterior. She was having contractions like for the first 24 hours it was like every 10 minutes. For the second 24 hours it was every 5 minutes, and she did not get a wink of sleep for like 48 hours because especially by the second night the pain was so bad that she just had to stay in the hot shower, and her husband had to just help her through every single contraction, and my anxiety was through the roof. So I kept having really vivid nightmares of something really bad happening to Amber, and then when I would wake up and I would remember she's in hospital in labor, the worry was like if she didn't text me back, which she wouldn't because she was in labor, but I was messaging her husband, I was calling, because I was just beside myself. Like I'm talking like almost shaky. It was really weird. I've never had that before. And then when her husband called me to say, yep, okay, you know, come into the hospital now, she's probably ready to push soon. As soon as I saw Amber's face, I hadn't seen her for 24 hours, which felt like forever for me. When I saw her face, I just broke down, and she was fine. She was sitting there, she's like, I'm fine. And she was trying to console me, and I'm like, come on, Shannon, like pull your head in. You are not the patient here. But honestly, just that worry of anything bad happening to her was really scary. And when I got there, they basically said, oh, look, we want to wait a couple more hours just for the baby to get into the, you know, perfect position basically. So we kind of just hung out. It was a very peaceful situation. There was fairy lights. Amber was napping. I had a little bit of a nap on. They had like a queen bed to the side. So I had a nap in the bed with my mum. And then basically the midwife walked in and was like, okay, are you ready to meet this baby? And this is literally how it was like, are you ready to meet your baby? Yes. And it was all very calm. There was nice music in the background, and just the difference it makes with pain medication, like for her not to be in serious pain, just changed the whole atmosphere. So yeah, that was pretty amazing to watch. I watched her full natural birth. I saw little Valley come out, and that was just like, that is imprinted in my mind. I cannot believe that humans are so, I feel like we're very private, we're very quite civilized in our day-to-day life. But when you're in those situations, you realize, and you kind of just brought back to reality, that we really are just animals, and women are just doing whatever they can to get that baby out. And it truly is amazing. And I almost had to keep blinking and just remind myself, like, am I actually seeing this in front of my eyes? Like an actual baby coming outside of another human. Like, it was so crazy to watch. And now I understand why women talk so much about their birth experiences. So, and you know, becoming a mother, because beforehand I had never really had any kind of experience with that. So I honestly used to think, oh, stop going on about it. But now I know why. And I'm almost like, why don't they go on about it more? Because it's so full on and it's so serious. And I know this is probably an unpopular opinion, but I'm purely just going to share my honest thoughts at that time when I saw that birth. Is although nothing bad happened and it was actually quite a good, you know, natural birth, I think we need to normalize women not wanting to do that because it's hectic and it's very scary, terrifying, looks very painful, dangerous. And if a woman doesn't want to go through that but they want a child, surely, I don't know, this is just my thoughts, but like when I get to that point, I want to have an elected C-section. And I know you've got to recover from that, but the anxiety and the fear of going through that is just, it would probably ruin my experience. Once she was here, she's absolutely gorgeous, guys. She's I don't know if I'm being biased, but she's the cutest little baby ever. And I think for the 10 days that she's been here, I've seen her every single day except for one. And honestly, Amber and Jake are doing really, really well. They're adjusting to parenthood really well. Obviously they have their ups and downs, there's struggles with the feeding and just knowing what they want and everything, but overall everything's going really well. And I will have to have Amber back on my channel soon to give you guys an update. But yeah, so far everything's going well. I'm loving auntie life. It's so crazy because in ways Valley looks so much like Amber, and it's kind of weird because I'm holding her and I can see me as well, obviously because we're identical twins. But when I'm looking at her, I can see my eyes and a little bit of my face shape, or Amber's, but I like to say me. But it's just weird. And even when I'm holding her and Amber's busy, it's like I said to Amber, I'm literally holding like a mini you. But then when I look at her husband, Jake, and they change so much. Some days she really looks like Jake and then other days she really looks like Amber. But anyway, loving auntie life. And I love how hands-on I can be with her because it is Amber's baby. I've never felt more comfortable to be hands-on, you know, changing her nappy, giving her a bath, cuddling her, and just I just feel like I don't have to worry as much. So anyway guys, I'm going to wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to give it a big like and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll catch you all in my next one. Bye guys.